This video is sponsored by Factor. You know those weeks where you're juggling everything, your work, relationships, errands, trying to squeeze in a workout, and the last thing you want to do is cook. That's me a lot of the time, and eating clean used to feel like this huge extra chore, but now Factor has taken all of the guesswork out of it. Factor just introduced their healthiest menu yet. They've doubled the size of their menu. That means 80 plus rotating weekly meals with double the seafood and protein options, including salmon, shrimp, barramundi, beef fillets, shredded beef, turkey, even meatballs. They've also added a new customization option, so if you love chicken but don't want pork chops, you can swap proteins for free. I love that. The meals are fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes. And with so many more Mediterranean and Asian-inspired dishes, eating clean is so easy and delicious thanks to Factor. My personal favorite right now is their salmon with roasted veggies. So good. And it's great workout fuel. It's like very filling, but doesn't make me feel weighed down. Factor even supports your gut health with their fiber-rich meals. They make portion control stress-free with meals in the 350 to 550 calorie range. Factor makes it so easy to stay on track with wellness-forward meals made from whole food ingredients. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code GoodnightMoonFB50 to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code GoodnightMoonFB50 at factor75.com for 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Hello, welcome to the town of Telluride in Colorado. We are here for the 45th annual Telluride Mushroom Festival to participate in guided forays, hands-on workshops, lectures, yoga, and more. This festival started in the 70s. Mycologists who wanted to share their research and celebrate mushrooms all decided to come together here in this charming little town. The first thing that really stands out arriving here is all of the adorable homes. So many cute little details and colorful paint jobs. Lots of shingles, bay windows, stained glass, spindle work. The town is very much nestled in the woods. You can look up and see mountains blanketed in green overhead. The birch bark seems to have eyes looking back at you. Right now it's about 10 a.m. and we're walking from our lodging into town for breakfast. The walk involves crossing over a little bridge, which is great. The sounds of the creek and the birds and the rustling leaves are so peaceful. This pharmacy has been here since 1975 and it has a very apothecary look to it. We're at the butcher and the baker. This place has all of these heavily bedazzled old movie posters. I got a veggie scramble, and Carlos got a breakfast sandwich. The main street of this town is full of quaint old buildings, lots of art galleries, jewelry stores, pubs, plenty to do. This boutique has a darling pair of baby pants that I can't help but picture my cat wearing. It looks so handsome. Some beautiful gold necklaces. I love this teardrop shaped pendant one. This town is super expensive though, so even without price tags, I know it's not happening. This antique sewing kit makes for a wonderful window display. I love the colors of the thread. I would love to be part of the Berry brethren. This art gallery has some gorgeous butterfly pieces, other assorted creatures. Look at this one. Those rich, iridescent blue wings look so striking against all the gold. Now we are in the Jeep, heading to our first foray of the festival with Britt Bunyard, a highly respected American mycologist. He's actually the executive director of the festival and editor-in-chief of Fungi magazine.
Wax paper, you can tear off a sheet, put your mushrooms in it.
He is explaining to us how to protect our delicate finds with wax paper. And the tinier mushrooms can be well protected within egg cartons or tackle boxes. It's been a very dry season, so we're not finding much at first, but we're still having a good time checking out the lichen. On these rocks here is Permeliaceae. It's a symbiotic partnership between fungi and algae, or cyanobacteria. The fungus provides structure and protection, while the algae photosynthesize and feed the whole organism. They like to colonize bare rock, slowly breaking the rock down into soil over the course of centuries. They survive well even where most other life forms can't, because they absorb minerals and moisture directly from the air, through rain and fog especially. When dried out, they can look brittle and dead, but the moment water touches them, they wake up and turn vibrant again. Here we have Cladoniaceae, famous for their little pixie cup forms, like little goblets. It's a primary winter food for caribou and reindeer in the Arctic. Entire herds depend on it for survival. Because they're so sensitive to air pollution, Cladoniaceae are considered bioindicators of clean air and a healthy ecosystem.
I love overhearing the conversations. Those are beautiful. Oh, look at these.
Our first mushroom find is a family of small brown gilled mushrooms. These usually appear on rotting wood, bark, or rich leaf litter, always busy recycling nutrients back into the soil. I think these were Tuberiaceae, also called little brown mushrooms, LBMs, a mycologist's catch-all term. There's lots of tiny brown fungi that are difficult to tell apart. They may not be flashy or edible, but their spore prints can be surprisingly beautiful under close study. Britt is carefully tucking them into parchment paper to keep them protected. Britt warned us as beginners to never eat brown spored mushrooms, especially if it's a rusty kind of shade of brown. You can see the spore color on the underside of the gills. Many mushrooms, like button mushrooms, have a membrane sort of covering over their gills, and as the mushroom matures and gets bigger and bigger and that cap opens up, that membrane-ish covering that's protecting the gills falls down and stays attached to the stem, leaving a sort of skirt. But not all mushrooms have that type of membrane. Some have a cobwebby veil called a cortina. And once that breaks, the cortina drapes down over the stem, and it looks kind of like rusty brown, wet hairs. This mushroom is from the most notorious genus for having that veil, called Cortinarius. Rust brown spores in particular have many dangerous species, some deadly. The author of the book, The Horse Whisperer, famously was part of a group of friends who went out foraging mushrooms, got poisoned by this type, and ended up needing liver transplants because of it. That was Britt's, cautionary tale to us beginners. Watch out for the rusty browns.
Right now, that even the viscid capped mushrooms won't be viscid. It's just too dry. But it's a great one to find. Do you have a nice place to put it?
On a lot of the branches around here, you can find bits of Teleschistaceae, known for their brilliant orange, yellow, or red pigment. They act like natural sunscreen, protecting the lichen from harsh sunlight. They've been used historically as dyes. Some early cave paintings may have used lichen-derived colorants like these. We're finding lots of thirsty little fungus along the river's edges. This one is Otidia, a genus of cup fungi. Their distinctive ear-like shape inspired their name. Otidia comes from the Greek word otos, meaning ear. Some are bright yellow or orange, while others are tan to brown. Like many cup fungi, they release spores when raindrops hit inside their cups, like a tiny splash cannon mechanism. They're not toxic in all cases, but they are also not particularly tasty, so they're best admired rather than eaten. And this itty-bitty berry is a wild strawberry. Unlike cultivated strawberries, wild ones stay small, but that means their flavor is often incredibly intense. This is cow parsnip, a tall native wildflower in the carrot family. It's one of the largest wildflowers in North America, often grows up to 8 feet tall. Its large leaves can be used as makeshift plates or wrappers in traditional cooking. Poultices made from the roots were applied for swelling, bruises, or sores. Infusions of the root could be used as a remedy for stomach troubles, coughs, or cramps. The strong smell of the crushed plant can even be used to repel insects. I wandered off on my own and found a nice cluster down here, but I was separated from the rest of the group, so I didn't have a knife, just grabbing at them kind of clumsily. Check out how this one on the tree is growing up and around this stick. It looks like someone roasted a marshmallow and then splatted it against the tree in frustration. Carlos is bounding up with his bag totally full. He said he found more than he could even carry. Everyone is wandering out of the woods with their finds, meeting up at this table to put everything on display. Makes it look like such a tantalizing gnome feast. There's such an exciting variety of shapes, textures, colors, sizes, and smells. Some of them smell quite sweet, earthy. Some are like roasted fish, kind of like a smoked fish sort of smell. It's really an impressive variety.
Tell you the name of something, you're like, well, I've never seen that before, but I'm guessing this is what it looks like. So Sarcodon, I know what that genus looks like.
These huge ones that were found growing on the sides of tree trunks are kind of step-like or shelf-like. It's easy to picture gnomes or fairies sitting, relaxing on them in the middle of a busy afternoon picking berries, or using them as steps to get higher up on the trees. The San Juans are part of the largest volcanic field in North America, so the soil is very rich, very mineral heavy, makes it prime ground for fungi. It can get very diverse around here. And because of the high elevation and all of the moisture from the snowmelt, mushrooms often appear later in the summer here as compared to lower altitude forests. Such a detailed texture on the underside of this one growing from the branch. This Gomphasi reminds me of calcifer, or coral. We're making use of our mini magnifying glass to admire all this texture. And Gabrielle is telling us about the Ganoderma applanatum, also known as the artist's conch. It's a large, woody bracket fungus, often found on old logs, stumps, the trunks of dying trees. Its top is usually dark brown and cracked, and the underside is a smooth white surface. What makes it special is that the pore surface bruises dark brown when it's scratched, which is why it's called the artist's conch. People have used it like a natural canvas for centuries. You can etch whatever images you like into that white surface, and it can last for decades. This fungus is a saprotroph and parasite. It breaks down hardwoods like aspen and conifers. That sounds bad, but by decomposing wood, it's playing an important role in the ecosystem, cycling nutrients, helping return locked up carbon and minerals back to the forest floor. Britt likes to carry olive oil and lemon juice and salt on his person for on-the-go mushroom tasting. He's shaving up a king bolete for us all to try out. He said that he frequently does mushroom tasting with groups, and the king bolete is always the winner, is the one that people say is the most delicious. On goes the olive oil, the lemon juice, and the salt, of course.
So you said that hawk string that I found, you said you would eat them, but not that one.
It was good. It was a welcome snack after a long day of foraging, but honestly, it was my first time trying a raw mushroom, and it's just hard to compete with the pleasant texture of a cooked mushroom. So, you know. Now we're done foraging and heading back into town for dinner. I took a shower, changed into a dress, and am sprucing myself up a bit with some makeup and perfume to look presentable for a nice mushroom meal. Dinner tonight is at a private residence overlooking Trout Lake, just south of Telluride. Dinner is served by Chef Chad Hyatt, known for his deep knowledge of wild mushrooms. His dishes tonight are going to be using fungi that grow from these very forests. The weather this afternoon is perfect. It's warm, it's breezy, lots of wildflowers all around. Before heading inside to eat, there's a porch with the most beautiful view and truffle-infused cocktails to enjoy. In the distance, there's layered cliffs, streaked red and green. The red comes from iron-rich sandstones laid down more than 250 million years ago, and the green is a patina of copper minerals. I was so absorbed in the experience, I sadly didn't capture footage of the first few dishes. But here's the menu. This one is the cannelloni with morels, leeks, truffles, and pumpkin. It's definitely my favorite dish of the night. I love pumpkin. This is the braised beef with eggplant, porcini, hawkwing mushrooms, and saffron milk cap. And this is the agaricus almond cake with candied chanterelle. bushes here are killer. Gorgeous peachy sunset on the drive back to Telluride. Come morning, we're meeting this handsome fellow. The wildlife here seems quite comfortable with humans, including this outdoor cat who was enjoying the perfect napping spot, nestled in this flower bed. I think I would pick a similar spot if I was an outdoor cat, to enjoy the sunshine, the breeze, and the birds.
What a sociable little lady.
She's so sweet, she keeps mewing, asking for more and more attention. She's a lover girl. I love cats like that. Instead of crows, the standard bird around Telluride seems to be the Steller's jay. They like high elevation coniferous forests, so they really thrive around this area. Our first stop on the actual festival grounds is going to be this food stand. I'm ordering the mushroom tacos and an iced cacao drink. The medley of mushrooms is sizzling away. And here's the finished tacos, one with each type of sauce they had. Sriracha mayo, soyaki, and sweet chili. The sweet chili was my favorite.
This one all veggies.
You see this guy in the red shawl dancing to the street performers' music. His name is Art Good Times. He's a poet and activist. He served as the San Miguel County Commissioner for 16 years. And he's been a really important figure in organizing the Mushroom Festival from its early days. Now we're at an open mic. It's open to any festival goers who have music, poetry, singing, or just some thoughts to share. It was mostly musical. It was really fun getting to hear everyone's contributions. The sun is about to set, so let's board the gondola. We can enjoy the view from up high in the mountains. When I heard that Telluride has gondola transport, I was actually picturing canal-style gondolas like in Venice. I was so thrilled to see the Telluride Canal. From inside the cabins, you can see red rock cliffs, and in the fall, entire mountainsides of shimmering aspen. But as you can see, it's beautiful in the summertime too. It was actually starting to rain while we were in there, and it was really peaceful hearing the rain pitter-pattering on the gondola roof and looking down at the deer grazing on the greenery. It was giving me a bit of tingles at the back of my head, experiencing being cozy and safe within this little warm, dry compartment, gliding over the woods with the rain pitter-pattering on the roof. I like the design that they went with for the gondola stops. It's like a big red barn. Feels like there should be horses inside it. It's too cloudy to get the striking sunset experience we were hoping for, but it is quite vibrant in the little patch that we can see. Golden rosy glow peeking out from behind the rain clouds. Now we're on the way back down. Looking at that elk grazing down below. Wave hello, blow a kiss to the elk. Carlos missed Bigfoot's cabin, so this is me trying to show it to him. It really looks like a Christmas town down here. I would love to see this place blanketed in snow. When it gets dark, the warm glow from inside these adorable buildings, I think, is really what's giving me the Christmas town feeling. It's a new day, and we are on the way back into town for an exciting workshop. Another Stellar J sighting on the walk. This one is more spry looking than the last one. We're stepping inside the AHA School of the Arts. It's a creative hub here in Telluride that hosts everything from painting to poetry classes. Today it's home to a special workshop led by natural dye artist Mayumi Fujio. She transforms fungi and plants into pigments using traditional methods to coax the colors out. And then she uses them to create striking patterns and prints on fabric. Today she's guiding us through the process of making our very own mushroom-dyed scarves. Right now she's showing off the possibilities of colors and patterns we can pick. She's got lots of different techniques. Which one would you choose?
All along, right? And this one, you can do, actually, you can be creative. I will give you a scarf this size, and you can fold it any way you like, and you can clamp it any way you like.
There's 2 bubbling pots of mushroom dye awaiting us, each one holding a different kind of magic. One is made from the Omphalodus mushroom, if you dip your fabric into that one, you will have a rich, earthy green tone. The other bubbling pot is boiling Psilocybin, sometimes called the dye ball fungus, which will produce a deep, rusty orange shade for your fabric. It's like you can choose between autumn leaves or forest moss. Which color would you pick? I'm doing green and Carlos is doing orange. While our scarves are sitting in the dye, soaking up all of that delicious pigment, Mayumi is sharing with us her carefully crafted guidebook, the accumulation of her years of trial and error. She has photographs of the mushroom or plant that she foraged, paired with sample textiles and yarns dyed in its hues. It's really giving tome. To me, she's such an alchemist with a tome of sacred dyeing knowledge. Every swatch and every photograph is priceless knowledge, the result of her years of devotion and experimentation. Now I'm unwrapping the string from my scarf and finding that I think I wound it up a bit too tight. I had the fabric too much overlapping over itself, so there wasn't enough fabric exposed to the powers of the pigment. That's alright. It still has a kind of a cool look to it, although it's mostly white. And here's Carlos's design. It's still wet, so it looks quite dark, but once we take it home and wash it, it should lighten to a much paler orange shade. I'm so glad that he had more luck really making the most of the pigment. Now that the workshop's done, let's go check out the festival. Lots of fun items for sale. And there's the ID tent where you can see what everyone else has foraged so far. And it's still raining, which I love hearing on the top of the tent. The king bolete, the one we tasted earlier, is one of the most prized wild mushrooms. Romaria, or coral fungi, really do look like coral. They can be yellow, pink, or purple. Very beautiful, but can upset the stomach. Puffballs. When they're young and white on the inside, puffballs are edible and mild. Once they mature, they release clouds of spores with the lightest touch, like smoke bombs. The hawkswing gets its name from the scales on its cap. Doesn't it kind of look like feathers? It's bitter when raw, but beloved after some careful cooking or pickling. Chanterelles glow golden on the forest floor and smell faintly of apricots. The clustered tough shank is usually too tough to eat. It's common on decaying wood. Russulas are colorful, brittle mushrooms that snap like chalk. Some are mild and edible, others spicy, hot, and inedible. You really have to taste test carefully. The fly agaric, red with white spots, is very popular in fairy tales. It's toxic when raw. Poison pax was once eaten in parts of Europe, but it's now known to cause fatal reactions. You can recognize it by this brown cap that's rolled under on itself. Avoid. But something that I did learn at the festival is that no mushrooms are toxic to touch. People on the forays were worried about that, but the experts assured us that any mushroom that can be toxic or fatal, that is only the case if you actually ingest it. A delicious milky cap oozes bright orange latex when you cut it. It's considered a delicacy in Spain, where it's simply grilled and served with garlic. Mayumi actually has her own booth at the market, with her masterfully dyed and printed scarves, shawls, pillowcases, tablecloths, and yarns. I love this color palette, all of these earthy browns, soft golds, surprising splashes of pink, blue, green. I would love to take a class with her someday, learning how to do these botanical prints. It must be tricky. I'm sure she has a lot of expertise about it. She was wearing one of these scarves during the class, and it looked so beautiful and mushroomy on her. It felt appropriate. This one was made with the coral mushrooms we've talked about. The jack-o'-lantern mushrooms, that's what I tried to dye my scarf with. Lobster mushroom, look at the varying shades on this. The yellow ones used big gem mushrooms. Which color do you like best? If you could have a sweater knit out of one of these gorgeous mushroom wools, which would you want? I think I would want a coral pink one made from the lobster mushroom dye. That red one there on the right is the one that I bought. I love it. Look at the green against that rich red. So pretty. And look at all of those little details, all the little veins in the leaves come through in the printing. All of those speckles. The Telluride Mountains contain 350 miles of tunnels, enough to reach from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Billions of dollars in gold, silver, copper, lead, and zinc have been produced here since 1880. Currently at the workshop tent, the low-tech mushroom cultivation workshop is in full swing. Everyone's being taught affordable techniques for growing mushrooms at home, using everyday materials like straw, sawdust, even cardboard. Fungi can thrive in even humble setups. And whoever wants to is getting to cultivate their very own bag to bring home.
Nutrients to grow as fast as possible, because the faster the mycelium is going to grow, the less chance the rest of the microorganism has to consume the substrate that we're trying to feed to our mycelium to eventually grow.
Writer and educator Eugenia Boone is doing a talk sharing insights from her book, Have a Good Trip. She's speaking candidly about the risks that sometimes accompany psilocybin experiences, including rare cases of wood lovers paralysis. Certain species of mushrooms that grow from wood, not the ones that grow from manure, can cause temporary loss of motor control. So it's very important to make sure that if you are going to consume psilocybin mushrooms grown on wood, make sure that you are safely supervised and that you aren't going to go swimming or out in the snow. Don't put yourself into any situation where it might be dangerous if you temporarily are unable to move. She also discusses the possibility of persistent visuals after a trip, and how research is showing that combining mushrooms with cannabis may, for some people, increase the risk of those persistent visuals. Eugenia emphasizes the importance of mindful dosing. A chocolate bar, for instance, can carry unpredictable potency because the dosage doesn't always distribute evenly, especially if in the shipping process the bar has melted and resolidified. So individually manufactured pieces tend to be more reliable. Her presentation was all about approaching the psychedelic experience with knowledge by late afternoon, the skies are full of rain. Very common to have afternoon rain in Telluride this time of year. The streets glisten, the cliffs disappear into mist. We're going to the butcher and the baker again. That's quickly become our favorite spot here. I've got this delicious trout on salad. So good. The sliced apples are such a nice, crunchy bit of freshness. And oh, this raspberry cheesecake was amazing. So comforting as the rain is pattering down. And a perfect pairing with my chai latte. And look at this angel. I'm sure all of the blooms around here are feeling very happy with the rain. Every Friday through the summertime, Telluride's Main Street is filled up by the farmer's market. Look at these peaches at the height of the season. Juicy and fragrant. The peach guy is helping us pick out the best bag. We let him know we're trying to eat them right away, so he said to look for the ones with the pink shoulders. Right around the top stem, he called that part the shoulder. And you want that to be pink if you're trying to eat it quickly. And look at these flowers, oh my goodness. There's these dried bouquets. Beautiful assortment of colors and textures. Bodacious blooms. Bright splashes of color against the gray, rainy day. Mesa Verde Lavender is a family-owned organic lavender farm located in Montezuma County, Colorado. Their focus is mostly on culinary lavender, so that's lavender that's safe for use in food, drinks, syrups. Because it's high altitude and in a drier, more exposed climate, their lavender develops a stronger aroma and potency. I bought a jar of this chamomile tea, and it's been lovely. It's been kind of a bedtime treat for me lately with some almond milk and honey. Really relaxing. Some cool photos from their farm. I also purchased this roll-on lavender oil that I've been keeping in my purse. Roll it on my neck, around my wrists. Just deeply breathe in that smell. It's really nice. I love when it's just lightly raining like this. Not enough to ruin your plans or get you all cold and wet, but just enough to kiss you lightly on the skin, cool you down, enjoy the bitter pattering sound on the roofs around you. taking a little break to enjoy the scenery on this bench here with the colorful glass inlays. Now we're going to Daniel Winkler's talk about his book, Fruits of the Forest. He's an ethnomycologist who grew up in Bavaria. He's known for his work connecting people with edible and medicinal fungi. Look at these amazing pictures. He joked that in all these pictures he stuffed cardboard into the basket first so that it would look more bountifully overflowing with mushrooms. He's telling us about fire morels, a morel species that fruit abundantly following forest fires. They thrive where the burn was hot enough to clear the ground, but not so intense that it destroyed the hidden fungal structures beneath the soil. Boletes are safest and tastiest when cooked. Sautéing or pan-frying slices or using in soups or stews brings out their nutty flavor. High heat initially helps dry off excess moisture. He mentions that drying is a good method to preserve flavor, especially for king boletes. Once they're dried, they can be rehydrated and used later, and they tend to hold their flavor really well this way.
He had a little bit over the fence there, it's safe, and he came back, and half of its bolete were eaten by the horses. So, horses, cows, they know what's good.
He explained that other animals like cows and horses seem to agree with us that boletes are the most delicious. He said he's had multiple experiences of having his harvest picked over, and cows or horses or whoever is doing the thieving will pass over other edible species in favor of the delicious nutty boletes. He says that hedgehog mushrooms are easy to identify thanks to the spines under the cap. The length of the spines tells you the age. Shorter spines means younger and tastier. Longer spines means older and more likely to be bitter. He likes to fry up these jungle cups and use them like you would bacon on a salad. A nice salty, umami, crunchy topping. After the talk, we're enjoying some lemon blueberry seltzer with full spectrum lion's mane and cordyceps from Petrichor. We heard that there was face paint at the Petrichor booth, so we made a beeline here for that reason. I love that the artist chose this vibrant teal for our friend. It looks so beautiful with her eyes. And this cascade of clustered mushrooms for Carlos looks great too. With the sparkles. This little boy actually came up to me all excited, pointed at my face and pointed at his face, and that's when I noticed we had the same face paint on. I was like, oh, we match, and he nodded and ran off really happy. This flower is called a columbine. A blue columbine is Colorado's state flower. Those long spurs down the back hold nectar for hummingbirds. And this is a hollyhock, a cottage garden favorite. They look delicate, but they're surprisingly tough. They really thrive in poor soil and dry climates. In folklore, hollyhocks were said to guard the home, planted near doorways as symbols of abundance and welcome. Today is our last day at the festival, and we're spending it on a truffle dog foray led by handler Heather Dawson. Heather is a seasoned truffle hunter who has lovingly trained her dogs, Rye and Pyro, to sniff out underground treasures. This little puppy is unrelated, but I just had to include him. Someone just had him in the parking lot we were meeting up at for the foray, brought him over to meet and greet with the truffle hunting boys. It's so cute.
And so you just basically associate that
most mushrooms that sprout above ground. Truffles ripen beneath the soil. They release rich aromas that only the most sensitive noses can detect. So that's where the dogs come in. Here in the Rockies, native truffle species are much smaller than European ones, so not really priceless jewels, but very fascinating from an ecological perspective. They form partnerships with tree roots, exchanging nutrients within the forest. Here we are at the truffle hunting spot. Heather is explaining to us here some of the truffle hunting basics. She said you have to be quite quick to retrieve the truffle once you notice they're starting to dig for it, or else they might tear it up with their vigorous digging, or just help themselves to eating it. But she doesn't stop them right away. The truffles are so tiny and blend in with the dirt so completely that even if the dogs point out the exact spot, she really does need a lot of their help in order to exactly locate it. I was so surprised to see how aggressively and fearlessly the dogs will dig, ripping up anything in the way, like old decaying logs, to find their little prize. There it is, the little golden nugget. I was surprised to see that the way Heather rewards her dogs for a successful truffle find isn't with treats, but instead by unearthing their prized favorite ball from a side zip-up pocket of her backpack. She holds back whichever dog did not find the truffle and tosses the ball for the truffle-finding dog to chase after and catch. I guess golden retrievers just really do have a strong enough retrieving instinct that getting to retrieve is an exciting reward in and of itself. And as you can see, he's also getting loved on lots. Everyone celebrating him and his ball. What a good boy, what a good boy. Truffles have an astonishing variety of different kinds of aromas that they release to attract animals. Some smell sweet and fruity, like ripe apple or pear. Others lean nutty or garlicky, almost like roasted shallots. The dogs apparently love to eat the fruity smelling truffles. Heather said their favorite lately has been a yellow truffle called leucogaster, with an intensely fruity aroma, some say like ripe pears or melons. Heather likened it to banana. They aren't really prized in the kitchen, but the dogs love them. It's a good reward for them sometimes, I guess. So far, the dogs have found Hinotria, sometimes called a false truffle. It looks like a small knobby lump. Its surface often fuzzy with tiny hairs. But break it open and you'll see a maze-like pattern, almost like a walnut brain. It smells quite pungent and earthy, like garlic. They're also finding Gaudieria, often gray or brown, blending in almost perfectly with the forest floor. Inside, they're actually kind of gelatinous. Heather said these ones can oftentimes just get pulverized by the dogs into nothingness since they're quite soft, so she has to be sure to interfere quickly. They've been noted as key diet staples for small foragers. forest mammals. Unlike mushrooms that appear overnight, truffles can lie hidden underground for months, quietly maturing in the soil, waiting until the time is right, when their spores are ready to travel, and only then do they start releasing their powerful fragrance. In the old days, truffle hunters in France and Italy used pigs, who adore that musky aroma of truffles. The trouble was, pigs loved them a little too much. Dogs turned out to be the perfect partners. Just as sensitive to the smell, but easier to train, eager to please, happy to exchange their discoveries for rewards, like their favorite ball. It was so fun passing the samples around from person to person, hearing everybody's similar but slightly different take on what each sample smelled like. One person would say Parmesan. The next person would say old socks. This seems like a good life for a pair of Goldens, sniffing around the woods.
In a wet year, they tend to be a little bigger than this. The drier the year, the smaller the truffle. This is a Hemimegaster. It smells kind of planty, sort of like an herbaceous smell. That's related to, if you've ever heard of Hebeloma, like poison pies. That's related to Hebeloma.
This one smelled very earthy, pretty much what you would expect from a nugget that's been buried deep beneath the earth for who knows how many months. Our foray with the dogs lasted about 3 hours, but I easily could have watched them do this all day. It was always heartbreaking every time, though, to see the dog that didn't make the big find get held back from their prized ball. Heather's little truffle tackle box is filling up with exciting finds. I wish that the dogs got to eat every truffle. It feels appropriate for all the hard work they're doing to find them.
That's all you need to know. Is like, I'm going to send them with someone who's going to the ID table. I'm actually heading out after this. I'm going to Mexico. Oh, wow. So we're doing more dog truffling things? Yeah.
And that wraps up a successful morning of truffle hunting with rye and pyro. We're heading back into town and ending the trip with a round of drinks at Wood Ear Whiskey Lounge. I ordered the Tom Collins, which really caught my eye as a lifelong lover of Tomka. It's got gin, coconut rum, coconut cream, lemongrass, chili, lime, soda, and mint. Carlos got the Wood Ear Old Fashioned with bourbon, orange, bitters, black pepper, and brown sugar, and a big round ice cube. Our trip wraps up with a simple evening walk through town. It was such an incredible trip. Thank you so much for joining me. If you ever have the chance to visit Telluride, I highly recommend checking it out. And the Mushroom Festival is a fantastic time to do it. We met so many incredible people,